Recently, YouTube made a huge change to the YouTube Partner Program and to monetization. As of November 18th of 2020, YouTube will be running ads on non-monetized videos, and creators who are not in the YouTube Partner Program will not be paid for the ads on those videos. Now, there's a lot of misinformation going all around about this, and a lot of people are upset and fearful about what this means for their YouTube channel. So while I understand people's feelings on this, I want to make a video that addresses the facts, answers some of your questions and concerns, and really breaks this down. Now, if you want the basics on this new policy, I'm going to go ahead and link my video in the info card and description down below where I've already covered that. In addition to running ads on non-monetized videos, YouTube is also going to be counting YouTube Adsense payments as royalties. And so there are some tax issues with that, and we're going to briefly touch on that, but I do want to give it its own dedicated video. The first thing people are concerned about is demonetized videos. Will YouTube be running ads on videos that they would normally demonetize, and will YouTube be profiting off those videos while creators do not? And the answer is no. To run ads on videos, YouTube is still holding up their brand safe guidelines. So even if you're not in the YouTube Partner Program, before ads would run on your videos, they would still have to meet brand friendly guidelines, which means YouTube is not going to be monetizing videos that are of sensitive topics and so on and so forth. I also think it's important to point out that YouTube will not be monetizing 100% of videos on the platform, which is an argument people are using to say that YouTube should just let everybody back into the partner program. As it stands, if you're a YouTube partner, and a lot of people who are smaller YouTube channels do not know this, is that 100% of your videos are not monetized and are not getting ads on every single view. So in addition to the potential for videos themselves to be demonetized, 100% of the views on a partnered video are not running ads on them. On average, it's between 30 and 60% of views, if you're a partner, that are monetized. There's just not always ads to play on a video. Some people are viewing in countries where there may not be advertisements to match their language. There are a number of things that actually affect your YouTube monetization, and I've covered that here on the channel in many videos. So 100% of videos are never monetized, even if you qualify for Adsense and are in the YouTube Partner Program. It's just never been that way. Another question is whether or not there will be less money going to YouTube partners as a result of this. Because there are more ads being distributed, will this affect people's earnings on YouTube? And in my opinion here, the answer will be no, because when demonetization for smaller channels happened with the change in the YouTube policies for 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, there wasn't a significant increase in the revenue going to partner channels. So the reverse would also apply here. If people didn't make more money with there being less people in the program, they're not going to necessarily make less money just because there are more videos that are monetized now. Additionally, smaller channels would typically be in the lowest tier of ad revenue, and as it stands, that's not really a lot of money to begin with. My channel, for example, has on average a $20 CPM rate, which is considered one of the highest earning potentials that there is within the YouTube platform. But that means that my revenue per 1,000 views is about roughly $10. And when you translate all of that, it means that I make exactly 1 penny per every view on YouTube. Now, since most channels average a CPM of about $2, then that means that most normal YouTube channels are about 1/10 of a penny per view. This is not earth-shattering money when it all boils down to it, so this is part of why people are misunderstanding what's happening. And I know that money is money, but when we put this in perspective, it's not a massive loss for creators, and it's not a massive gain for YouTube. If you make a video as a smaller channel that's not in the YouTube Partner Program, and it ends up going viral and getting massive amounts of views that would put you into being qualified for the YouTube Partner Program in terms of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, will YouTube retroactively pay you for the views on those videos since it put you through the qualification? And the answer to that is unfortunately no. And this can feel like small creators are getting screwed over, but YouTube has never retroactively paid out revenue, after the fact on something. So this is pretty normal. This is what we've seen in the past, even if we don't like it. This is not a new part of the policy. Let's talk about long form content. Example, my podcast channel. I do a podcast and I have guests on my channel. I do live streams. This is long form content that, if interrupted with an ad break in the wrong place, would completely disrupt the viewer experience and could negatively impact the performance of that video in terms of retention rates. So the concern for a lot of channels that do things like ASMR, meditation, or any number of things is that mid-roll ads will end up interrupting their videos, and they don't have control over that or the ability to turn it off. It's an issue that I brought up in my previous video about this same thing, about this new monetization policy. And this is part of what I don't agree with, but my belief is that they won't be aggressive with mid-roll ads, or they may not even introduce them. The main reason that I believe this is because the real estate for those ads would be more valuable with channels that are already partnered. YouTube would stand to make more money with partnered channels in terms of these ads rather than on a smaller channel, even if the content is performing well or it's lengthy. I don't see them doing that as easily there, just because there's predictable profit to be made somewhere else. The other reason is just the lack of ad inventory. As it is, partnered channels do not get 100% view monetization as it is. So I don't necessarily think that this will be a large problem. I do think that this will have some isolated incidents. I'm not a fan of it, as my own channel will probably be affected in terms of the podcast. And so this is a valid concern, and I wish that you had control and the option to opt out of this entirely. And I think that that would be a better solution, but it's not the one that we have. And it probably would solve most people's concern and anxiety about this if they just had the ability to opt out. Now, since I touched on the fact that there's just more predictable profit for YouTube elsewhere, I wanted to bring up a statistic. There was a case study, I believe it was a data firm in Germany, that concluded that 90% of traffic on YouTube goes to the top 3% of channels. And therefore, I believe that the majority of ad inventory, the majority of ad revenue also flows that way, and the majority of ad potential would also flow that way. And so that's why I don't necessarily believe that this will create a massive issue for smaller YouTube channels. It just doesn't necessarily make sense, and there is a limited number of ads to go around. And so I don't think that you're going to see yourself getting hit with ad after ad after ad on these videos that don't have a predictable path to larger view counts. And there's just not enough traffic spread between the remainder of the 97% of channels that would take up 10% of the traffic. The math just doesn't work out. Now, with regard to these monetization policy changes, for creators who are concerned, my best advice to you would be to put all of your effort and all of your energy into reaching the requirements for YouTube ad monetization and applying to be part of the YouTube partner program. And the reason for this is it will give you control over the viewer experience. If you want to turn off ads after qualifying for them, that is then your prerogative. If you want to be able to control the placement of your ads and the interruptions that they bring for your audience, and even filter which ads aren't allowed to be shared to your audience, then that's something you get to do when you meet those requirements. I also want to continue to encourage creators to look beyond YouTube monetization, relying on it, or also being emotionally controlled by it in any meaningful way. Like I said, in the best case scenario, you're looking at 1 penny per view if you are doing a fantastic job when it comes to monetization, and at average, and what is more likely, is you'll be doing 1/10 of a penny per view when it comes to monetization. With that in mind, I know that it's easy to look at a lot of these YouTube millionaires that are crushing it and getting tens of millions of views a month and think that that's going to be you, but the math there also doesn't add up. There are more people in the United States who became millionaires last year than have ever gotten to 100,000 subscribers in the entire history of YouTube. I want to paint a clear picture for you how difficult it is to become a successful creator, but also that even if you do, that Adsense is not the most reliable income source or revenue stream. So I encourage you to diversify and try to make money online in as many ways as possible if you want to be able to support your creativity. Another note that I want to bring up regarding the YouTube Partner Program, a lot of people have brought up the concern that if YouTube is going to be able to monetize non-partnered content, why would they ever let anyone into the YouTube Partner Program? And something you may not know if you're not part of the YouTube Partner Program is that there are 4 other types of monetization that is offered besides Adsense available to YouTube partners directly through YouTube as a platform. And there are also 2 more that are in development and are being beta tested right now. So there are so many more ways for YouTube to earn through their partners outside the ads and outside of what the advertisers do, that it's actually in their best interest for more channels to be partnered instead of less. YouTube actually doesn't benefit that much, even with the monetization of non-partnered channels, based on the fact that those channels typically will not earn significant ad rates, and the fact that YouTube would have 4+ more ways to make money if you are a partner. So YouTube isn't rubbing its hands plotting against you. It's setting requirements, not unlike any other career or job profession. There are requirements and qualifiers to be a part of this. And so it's really not that different than, I think, many other traditional careers in terms of there being a standard or a barrier to entry. Just because the platform is accessible, that doesn't mean that succeeding on the platform is. Anyone can pick up a ball and play a sport, but not everybody goes to the NBA. It may feel to you that YouTube is screwing over smaller channels, smaller creators. And I understand that feeling, I understand that emotion, but I don't necessarily believe, at least from my point of view, that there are enough facts to support that. I think that this is just business as usual, and if I look at the other platforms, TikTok requires 10,000 followers to monetize. I think it's actually harder to get monetized on TikTok, even though TikTok offers virality. Virality is not guaranteed, even if it feels more accessible. And I also know that Facebook offers monetization, but it also requires 10,000 followers in order to achieve that. Instagram doesn't offer monetization at all and still profits from the ads run against creators. I believe the same is true for Snapchat, DeviantArt. There are many platforms and websites, Pinterest, so on and so forth, that run ads against the content from its users without even offering them a pathway to monetization. And so while it may sound a little tone deaf, I think that we have to be grateful for having the opportunity. I think that being able to see that there is something that is available to us that has never been available to other people, and the fact that there are many content creators whose countries don't allow them to monetize, and whose countries are actually creating new regulations that even limit or restrict them from doing certain things like affiliate marketing and brand deals, I think that it's best to look at the opportunities you have and feel out how you can make the most of them. Really look for how to win instead of how to lose. These kind of changes won't stop the next Mr. Beast. These kind of changes won't stop the next Kelly Stamps. And there's no reason that these kind of changes have to stop you from being able to achieve your goals and being successful on this platform through your own hard work. And even if YouTube may benefit from some of your content in the short term, you are the one who has the most to gain in the long term from your own effort and from the support of an audience that you show up for. And so if you're considering not starting a YouTube channel, if you're considering privating or deleting your videos, I would implore you on behalf of the viewers who enjoy your content to think twice about that and to find a way to put them first, because that is really the only way to truly be successful on YouTube, is that your viewers, your audience has to come first, your craft and your skills have to come second, and the other considerations, monetization, all of that is important, but it cannot be the #1 driver behind everything. Because ultimately nothing happens without the viewers being invested in the content and the content being made. Question of the day, are you going to try to meet the YouTube monetization requirements? Let me know in the comment section. I also have a great video coming out that's gonna help you do that. In the meantime, watch this one in the info card and in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Go out there and create something awesome today. Take care.